My name is Nolan Guo, and today I will be presenting my novel study on Clara and the Sun. Clara and the Sun by Kazuo Ishiguro follows an artificial friend who is a robot designed to accompany children named Clara and is purchased by this child named Josie. The plot follows Clara and Josie as they grow older and follows basically them living their lives. Now, the in Clara and the Sun, the main conflict is that the child Josie has a sickness that at the moment is incurable, and the plot follows essentially the world around that. So again, this links into the theme of Clara and the Sun, which I believe to be loss. Because of this sickness that Josie has, it's likely that maybe she doesn't make it. And the theme of loss is seen through primarily Josie's mother, who at a certain point is revealed that she has plans to, if her child were to die, she would then replace Josie with Clara as the new Josie. This covers the theme of loss because it tells us that many people cope with loss in many different ways. And now we have another topic of loss that supports it, where throughout the novel, as I said before, Clara grows up with Josie, but at a certain point, Josie, as well as many other characters, such as the housekeeper of their house, as well as Clara, like the shopkeeper that Clara was in, they eventually leave her life, and it comments on how, well, Clara's starting to lose everything, and culminates in her eventually losing herself as she grows too old to function. Now we have The Wars, which follows a character named Robert Ross, and the theme I chose for this one was grief and loss. The reason for this is because the main driving point of the story is the character named Rowena, who is the sister of Robert Ross. She, before the novel begins, is revealed to have died, and this death is essentially what pushes the story throughout the entire novel. Rowena's death causes great grief for Robert Ross, and this leads into the book, where it culminates in basically whenever he's in the present animals, it reminds him of his sister. By the end of the book, it eventually ends in his death in a barn as he fails to protect an entire barn of horses. This, again, links into Clara and the Sun because of the topic of losing a loved one and how someone copes with that. With Clara and the Sun, it was replacing them. With The Wars, it was trying to protect what they loved. Now, South, a poem, and The Diamond Necklace, both, I would say, have themes of unfamiliarity for South, as well as class difference for The Diamond Necklace. The unfamiliarity in South is shown through how the protagonist is unfamiliar in like countries like America or China, like first world countries, in comparison to his home, which is like Barbados, more smaller, shown through the symbolism of water. This unfamiliarity can be linked to a potential topic of Clara and the Sun being unfamiliarity. Clara, being an artificial friend crafted into life, is obviously very unfamiliar, shown through how she calls something like the sun a magical healing or pollution machines, Cootings machines, which are not the true name of them. In The Diamond Necklace, the class differences can easily be seen through a system in Clara the Sun called the lifted and the unlifted. The unlifted are essentially the lower class where they have less items, they have less anything, they don't have any money to spend, and usually their living is very poor. While the lifted, like Josie, they can go to colleges, as most colleges in the story do not allow non-lifted children in. There's also the fact that you can have enough money to purchase an artificial friend in the first place, thus showing off the class difference, like how in Diamond Necklace, the couple who spent 10 years trying to get the funds to replace Diamond Necklace, well, the people around them could buy them on a whim. Next, I will be talking about the literary devices present in these stories. In Clara and the Sun, symbolism is a very present literary device. because there are two very large symbols that clash and mesh very well. The first of these is, well, the sun, which I believe represents hope and healing. The reason for this is because right out in just the first few pages, we see that Clara observes an old man who is healed by the sun. This leads Clara to believe that this sun that has healed this man can also heal the sick Josie. Thus, she always asks the sun for help. She always says the sun will help eventually, thus making it a symbol of said healing when it works later in the story. The other symbol is the polluting machines. I believe that this clashes with the sun because I believe that the polluting machines or cooling machines, they represent despair or any real negative emotion, because polluting machines block the sun, and blocking the sun would restrict hope. But if we destroy the pollution, then hope shines back through. In the wars, we have the symbolism, which I believe also slightly links into hope, of the horses. The horses in the story always link back to Rowena, which, while also a symbol of grief, is also what drives Robert to do what he does, which is, well, whatever, serve his country and whatnot. So while I believe that horses are a symbol of grief, I also believe that they are a symbol of hope and a driving force. So both horses and the sun, I believe, represent hope in some manner. While in the South, we have the familiarity presented through the obvious symbolism of the water in comparison from the abundance of water in, say, Barbados versus the little amount of area of water present in an unfamiliar country like, say, America. This unfamiliarity makes itself obvious in both the South as well as Clara and the Sun. But the thing is with Clara and the Sun is that there's no like explicit symbol. It's just the fact that Clara doesn't have names, so it's a different literary device for that. The diamond necklace has imagery and irony. The imagery is more important in this case to link to Clara and the Sun because the imagery shows off how much the couple wants this necklace in order to, fit in. This shows that the lower class want more. Just like how in Clara and the Sun, the lower class would want, say, an artificial friend, or say, would not want to not be, not lifted. You want to rather be lifted instead. Say in the South, there is a clear class system between, say, the richer, more powerful bourgeoisie countries, like the United States, maybe Canada, maybe China, as compared to the lower class proletarian countries such as Barbados, St. Lucia, someone like those. And in the diamond necklace, the classism is very obvious, as it is, one of the driving cores of the story. Through the richer class being able to purchase something like a diamond necklace on a whim, it's a small fortune, but the working class family or couple would take, say, 10 years, like in the story, to purchase that. Now next, in the wars, the class system is clearly between the soldiers and their captains. So in Robert's case, it will be between Robert and Captain Leather. We learn what happens when you disobey the bourgeoisie, as Robert disobeys Captain Leather, shoots him dead, and attempts to free the horses in the barn. This ultimately culminates in another captain pursuing him and eventually injuring him enough to kill him in the barn, showcasing that the class system is very much in effect. Overall, I believe that Clara and the Sun has many possible themes. You could do something like unfamiliarity. You could do classes. You could do, what my theme was, loss. These themes are very broad and can be linked to many stories, like in this presentation. And I believe that the Marxist class system is present in all of these through various means. Thank you for watching my presentation.